what's up YouTube? In these trying times where PoE is in its kind of a funk, if you may call it, a lot of people are looking for the next ARPG to take over the throne of PoE, and a lot of people might be wondering, could it be Undecember? This game literally came out on October 11th to a lot of rave reviews from a lot of people. Lots of people have been praising it, saying it's one of the best experiences they've ever had until they opened up the cash shop, and that is why I'm going to showcase a clip over here. I was playing the game, so I actually tried playing it. And you can see here, a horror happens. So I'm actually going back to town. Oh, wow, you may go. And look at here. I'm looking at the celebration, baby. Oh man, we play 60. What's a festa? Oh man, look at all these stuff, dude. This is why you play the game. Every single day you log in, every single day you make money. Making bank every day. Look at that. Look. Oh shit! Oh my goodness, I almost bought something. Oh. And you can see right there, this is pretty much Undecember in a nutshell. They try to get you to accidentally buy something. As you can see right there, they almost took $10 from me. I almost bought, I don't even know what that was. It was something like an act skip pass or something like that. But that little clip right there sums up the game pretty much like exactly what it is, right? There's a bunch of daily login bonuses, bunch of pay to win, cash shop, money grab stuff. And it just comes out to an experience that the game feels like it has no identity at all. Its only identity is a mobile game with a cash shop trying to extract as much money from you as possible. And that's not a good identity you want to have. You want to have an identity of great gameplay, incredible depth in the gameplay, like the passive skill tree, the skill gem system. And as I said, Undecember released yesterday, and I did decide to give it a try, as a lot of people told me this could be the PoE killer, and I laughed at them. I said, there's no way that an Eastern port will ever be good in the West. It will never do well. And they told me that, nope, Undecember is different. This is a different type of game. This is so different. Right? It is a completely different experience. You just got to try it to believe it. And I did try it. So in the end, the only thing that Undecember would have killed was my wallet if I decided to keep playing it. So we're going to go over what exactly my initial impressions of the game was. And the cash shop, how predatory or however much you have to spend for pay to convenience, and whether there's really any pay to win aspect at all. So the initial impression I got straight out of the gate was I downloaded the game, right? It was on Steam, and I downloaded the game, and it was only 7 gigabytes. And I was like, 7 gigabytes? That's a pretty tiny game. Like, what kind of game today is 7 gigabytes? Well, when you make a game for mobile device, you can't really have the game being that big. A lot of phones are only like 128 gigabytes or 256, or maybe 512. So if you do a full-size AAA release game, having it be like 50, 60 gigabytes is pretty unrealistic. Now, 7 gigabytes means that the game probably doesn't have that many map tiles. It's probably not super good graphics, and it's pretty much a mobile game through and through. Now, immediately I noticed that the level design felt very, very like it was trying for the mobile device. Like, it felt very narrow. Like, all the areas I went to didn't feel like it was a wide open world. It felt like I was in this little alleyway going down it, and there's no, it just felt really bad. The level design just didn't feel so great. And then there's also a feature that makes it so your character literally auto attacks for you, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I go to the waypoint, and this is kind of like PoE, honestly, right here. You go to the waypoint, but if you press like T or whatever, so you can see how this thing is lit up green. Your character, you just move somewhere, and it'll just start shooting by itself. See, look, no hands right here. My hands are up here, and the character just plays the game for you. And I think there's also some auto path feature that you can literally just run here and look. The character's literally just playing the game. I don't even feel like I'm playing the game half the time. And this is pretty much just because this is a mobile experience. You just want to tap somewhere on the screen. Your character gets there. Maybe you'll press like a few buttons here and there. And this is literally just what the gameplay is like. Like, yeah, I did fight some bosses, and the bosses are pretty much as you would expect. You run around in a circle. You dodge the red circles on the ground. And it's not really anything crazy. Oh shit, I'm about to die. But as you can see, the gameplay is okay. It doesn't feel like terrible, but it doesn't feel like that great either. Now, the next part is there any identity to the game? And I feel like there's no identity to the game. When I play this game, I think, oh, I'm playing Lost Ark and a Diablo Immortal clone. It feels like I'm playing a phone game. If that's the identity you're going for, then yeah, the identity of this game literally feels like it's trying to rip off every single game and do it in a mediocre way. That's literally the identity that I get when I play this game, is that they try to copy the PoE skill system. I can show you what I mean by the skill system. And then they try to copy this, like, I don't even know. This is like an Asian thing where they have all these login events that you log in, you play every day, you play a certain amount a day, you collect your rewards, and it just feels like, okay, I get it. You want me to log in every day. There's a billion little random rewards to get. Not really sure how good it is. And then there's like an attendance event. Like, come on. I'm not in elementary school anymore. I don't need an attendance sheet to see if I actually, got through the events. And then there's something like add clear support through rune growth and a chance to earn key synthesis runes. I don't even know what this is, but basically you can like just finish all of the acts or something and get the rewards. And then there's something else called a Rune Hunter Pass. So there's just so many different things. There's even like a daily mission, a season mission. And I think this is the Battle Pass or whatever it's called. So you can purchase it. It costs $10. There's just so many random things to purchase. So many different types of currency. It just feels really like it's just too much. It's not streamlined at all. It just feels like you're trying to bombard the person with as many of these pseudo rewards as possible to get you to keep playing. Now, like I said, the graphics are really nothing special. I look at it, it looks okay. It doesn't look that great, but it doesn't look bad. And you can pretty much tell that this is going to be the case considering how small the game actually is. And this is another part that I really hate, and it really shows you that they probably put minimal effort, is that some of the translations are just terrible. Like, what is this thing? Using runes as material will transfer 100% XP for the same color and 80% XP for different colored runes. I mean, register a rune to grow. Why does it register? Like, I don't really know. But there's a lot of things, if you play through the game in the beginning, the translation kind of feels off. It feels like it was done through the Google Translator, like I said. And it pretty much feels like they did the minimum amount of effort to port it over to a global release. They just didn't really try that hard. Now, what is a new user monthly attendance event? Like, what is that? Well, maybe they can rename it to something else. Now, the combat didn't feel that bad. It kind of felt like it was kind of fun, right? It was kind of like a Diablo 3 feeling. And it wasn't that bad at all. The combat would probably be like one of the good points of the game. I kind of enjoyed the rune hex system. So a lot of people ask me, like, how is this game like PoE? Well, this game is actually pretty similar to PoE. So this is pretty much like your linking system. So this is your main skill. And you can see how there's like red, red, green. So it actually has the same thing as PoE. So you can 6-link this gem. So if you 6-link the gem, you pretty much have this all sides connected on this hexagon. And then you can also take the gem right here. And then you can re-roll the number of links you have. And then you can also change the linking location. So this is something that doesn't really exist in PoE. So you can move the link to somewhere else. And then this thing here, you can, change a link socket's color. So this is the chrome. And this is the fusing orb. And then there's also the jeweler orb. And then something that's actually kind of cool is that you can actually repeat it a certain amount of times. So in PoE, you can pretty much select, oh, you want one red socket, one green socket, and you can stop when you reach that. So that's actually something that's pretty good. And it's pretty in-depth, right? So like the whole like intricacy of this game is that you want to try to connect as many skills as possible to as many support gems. So it's kind of like you're trying to play like some geometry game where you're trying to maximize the amount of links for as many different skills as possible. And I assume later on you can unlock more hex squares, which does allow you to have more options, which is not too bad. Now, in terms of like the passive tree in the game is incredibly simplistic compared to PoE. So if you're trying to look for a game with a lot of depth to it, this is not it for you. So it has like strength, dex, and int. And the way it works is that you go from constellation to constellation. And people told me this is like the Grim Dawn system or something. So you start at 1 and then you can choose like different things for it. And then, so each constellation has something different. So this is like the spell portion of it. This is like the attack portion of it. And then I think there's like the minion portion of it, or like sentry, which is like the the ranged attack totem. So it just feels like there's not much creativity here compared to the PoE passive tree. And yeah, you put in stats. So you can put in like stats into strength, dex, or int. And this gives you like hit rate, dodge rate, HP, armor. And then there's also like resist in the game. So if you go to your character panel, right here. So you can see here, strength, dex, and int. And then you have your armor, fire res, cold res. So I actually need some more lightning res. There's also poison resist and chaos resist, right? So you can see how much maximum amount you can have. So overall, the game is like kind of similar to PoE in a lot of weird ways. And the linking system is probably one of the better aspects of the game, if you had to ask me. Now, is the game pay to win? Now, this is a question that you even really need to ask. So the game did not actually change the monetization scheme at all from Korea. And in fact, many people have actually said the prices are more expensive in the Western version of the game than the Korean version of the game. And in order to buy all of the convenience tabs and bag slots and the alchemy expansions, you need to spend around $160 to $300. So just so you can get like the convenience aspects of the game is actually like somewhat more playable, then you will need to spend a lot of money. So what you mean by that is that you can actually add slots. So you can buy additional bag slots. You can see here you have a character purchase limit for how many bag slots you can buy. And then there's also stash tab slots you can buy. So you can pretty much see everything you can buy under convenience, right? So you have a bag expansion slot. You can buy 30 of these supposedly. So that's like 3,000 diamonds or whatever. You can buy essence storage, which is like an essence tab. Materials storage is like another stash tab. And you have another stash tab over here. You have another general storage stash tab where you can buy 3 of. And then you can buy a chaos card. And chaos cards are like maps in this game. And then there's a charm storage. There's a bunch of stash tabs you can buy. And it's not like these things are that cheap. So around like, let's say, to buy, how many diamonds is this? Like 4,000 diamonds is like $90. So you can pretty much do the math real fast that if you add up this all up, 700, 700, 700, 2,100, it's like 1,500, 3,600, 4,300 plus 3,000, 7,000, like 8,000 to 9,000 alone in diamonds. And 9,000 in diamonds is already like $200, right? And not only that, you have to buy this monthly subscription fee because there is a pet in this game that auto loots for you and disassembles items for you. So if you don't have this pet, then you can't actually really play the game at maximum efficiency. So your pet, not only do you have to buy the pet, you don't need to buy the pet, you have to subscribe your pet so your pet can use its abilities every month, right? And then not to mention, there's also something else. So this is another subscription pass that actually grants you additional auction house slots, increases alchemy crafting time, and it also gives you a chest every single day. So you can pretty much consider it as you have 2 things to buy, and I think, so it costs around what, like 400 plus 300, so that's another 700 diamonds. And 700 diamonds is probably around like $20 or $15, let's say. So you have to spend like $200 to $300 on the game initially, and then you have to spend like $15 for a monthly subscription. Now that's not all, so that's all of the convenience aspect of it. And this game straight up just has pay to win in the sense that you can buy consumables, you can buy ID scrolls, you can buy resurrection scrolls, you can also buy whatever these chaos stones are. I'm not really sure what this stuff is, but you can buy essences, and these are like orb of fusings. These are chromatic orbs. I don't know what this is. Reimbue the number of link sockets. This is a fusing orb. What is this? So this is change the link socket location. And then you also have, let's see, what else do you even have? You actually have something else. So this is actually the worst part about it, is you can exchange the cash shop currency for the in-game currency, right? So this is like the divine orb of the game, rubies. So you can pretty much exchange the cash shop currency 1-to-1 for divine orbs of rubies in the game. So this is just straight up pay to win. You can buy any item in the game with cash from the shop. Now, you also have a battle pass that you have to buy. And it's actually just kind of crazy how many things you can be buying in this game. So where is this? Right here. Where's the battle pass? I don't even know how to access it. There's too many things to access. Okay, so here's the Rune Hunter pass that you can buy. And then you can also buy an Act Achievement pass. It's like, holy moly, man. Like, how many passes do you want me to buy? You want me to go broke playing your game or something like that? It's like, geez, just chill with the pay-to-win aspect, right? And it's just crazy. So you might be wondering, how are people actually taking to this game, right? Well, currently the game on Steam is mostly negative. In fact, I am very surprised at how negative it even is because the game has barely been out. So we go look at Undecember Steam. Okay, maybe that's the wrong one. So the game is like not too bad. It's like has 23,000 players right now. But let's go see Undecember Steam review. Now, you could say like, oh, reviews don't really matter that much, but every single review has the same exact thing. Hype, install, look at shop, use calc, laughed, uninstall, surprised the uninstall was free. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised the uninstall was free. Undecember uninstall, pro free can be uninstalled, cons exist. This says the cash shop prices are outrageous. You can barely afford 3 convenience dash sets for $45. You get way more in PoE. For $20, the game tries to force you to buy stuff too because there are a million login rewards giving that useless crap that you think you may somehow need that clogs up your inventory space. Like, that's exactly right. They're clogging up your inventory space with useless stuff so that they can sell you more inventory space. And then in order to get rid of some of the items in your inventory, you have to get a pet that can salvage the inventory so you don't need to go to town every 5 seconds. And this person's probably right. Don't bother. Go play PoE, go play Grim Dawn, go play Last Epoch or something else. And this is actually a pretty true statement. It's basically a rip-off mashup title. That's actually the perfect way of describing this. This game feels like it's trying to rip off everything and doing nothing correctly. It's just doing it in a very cheap way. Now, a lot of people did say, oh, I gave this game a fair shot, not knowing it was a mobile port. Cash App aside from now. Graphically, the game doesn't look bad at all. Even on PC, skill system is kind of unique. And this person says combat feels a bit unresponsive and then big numbers. Back to Cash Shop. A lot of people just can't get across the Cash Shop. And that's kind of true. Like, you don't want to play a game where you have to pay $200 for the convenience aspect or you're going to hate your life. And most people can say, like, the only positive reviews I do see is that people say, oh, you don't need to pay for convenience stuff. You don't need the pet to loot for you. And that is true. So if you could actually see beyond that, you can see beyond the pay-to-win garbage and you can just take the game for what it is and don't consider that other people can have that convenience, then yeah, you can enjoy yourself playing the game. Like I said before, the gameplay and combat is not terrible. It's definitely passable. And yeah, if you're on your mobile device, hell, on the mobile device, it might be a lot better. Like, if you're just sitting on your toilet, doing God knows what, then maybe Undecember is a very, very good experience. But if you're playing on a PC or trying to compare it to like PoE or another game like that, then it's probably not that great. Now, like I said, the game feels kind of unpolished, which is kind of weird because this game actually released like almost a year ago in Korea first. So I would think that the game developers would have polished it up a lot more, made it feel like it was more smooth, ran a little bit better, movement felt a little bit better, but it just doesn't feel that way. It feels like something is off about the game. And it really feels like this developer was doing like a minimum amount of effort in order to get the maximum amount of money from the consumers. And little do they know, or I don't really know, but that shit doesn't really fly in the West. I don't know how well this game will do in the West. I don't think it will do as well as Diablo Immortal, purely because it just doesn't have that hype around it, right? Like, Undecember does not have the Diablo franchise name to fall back on. So I do think it is probably a huge mistake to make the stuff that expensive in the cash shop, but I don't really know. I'm not really sure how much market data or market analysis the company did when they released it for the global release it, but I do think that they probably missed a pretty big opportunity in not making the stuff a little bit more affordable, because I do think that they have an okay product underneath all of the pay-to-winness, and it's kind of just completely obscured. Anything that this game could have done well is completely obscured by the fact you have to spend so much money and that it's just straight up pay-to-win. Now, games like this really does make me appreciate PoE, how the grass is not always greener on the other side. I do think Diablo 4 will be good. I don't think it will have any pay-to-win features like this, thankfully. And one of the things I really disliked about the game was the fact that I don't like the auto potion, auto attack feature. It doesn't feel good to play a game where the game automatically potions for you and the game can automatically attack for you. It just feels like, why am I even there? Why not just let the game play for me? Hell, you should let the game auto-path for me too. And this is the one thing I want to really hammer home, and this is why I really dislike PoE Mobile in general. I feel like any game that is developed with mobile version in mind will always result in huge compromises that damages the final product on PC or whatever main platform the game is originally on. And it's definitely noticeable in this game. It definitely feels like this game was designed to make it run well on mobile and make it take advantage of the monetization scheme on mobile. And that's why the game feels so half-assed on the PC. And it just is such a shame because I really feel like a lot of games have way more potential for us as the consumers, but people just take the mobile route because it just makes more money straight up, right? We all saw how well Diablo Immortal did. But hopefully this video has given you some insight on whether you should try out Undecember. And I do think the game is worth playing if you can look past all of the pay-to-winness. It is like okay. I don't think the end game is that in-depth. I think it's mostly just like greater rifts or something like that. There's 10 acts in the game. And the boss fights do look like they have some potential. It's like kind of like Lost Ark where you just dodge the red circle on the ground. But I'll probably keep playing it a little bit more on stream. And I'll let you know if this game actually gets better. But just from the start, it's not looking good. The pay-to-win feature is way too much, and I don't think that this game will ever catch on because the cash shop is just way too predatory. But thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know down in the comments if you've tried this game out and what your thoughts about it are. But thanks for watching. I hope you find more mirrors, exalted orbs, and divines than me, and see you next time. Bye!